Join us on another adventure with Wild and Free
Interior Alaska.
Let's take a look at phase 6 of our off-grid remote cabin build in Interior Alaska, where we bring out the wood stove, install the wood stove pipe, the ceiling kit for the chimney, and get the chimney started on the roof. We also install a few additional windows and get started on the flooring under the wood stove area. Let's take a look. Before, you are about to see the difficult time we had installing our flooring as we learned to do that on the fly, as we had never done so before and it was used flooring. Let's take a look at this amazing caribou that we saw on our journey out to the cabin that was just passing through after the herd. Just one lone little guy. We never intended on doing flooring today, so we were not prepared, but once we realized that it was going to be easier to get started with the flooring before we put the wood stove in place, because that was the goal, we needed to figure out how to do the flooring at that moment. And so we got started with what we had, just enough so we could place the wood stove there.
This one's also cut.
You put it the wrong way.
How?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe we just got a bad 2/3.
Because if it's cut on both sides.
He alternated. How'd they do that? Why would they do
Cut
that?
on that?
It's
Oh.
now it's cut the other way.
But I don't know. They didn't know what they were doing either.
The flooring took some trials and errors, but we finally figured it out and started moving forward. Next up was installing the chimney kit that goes through the ceiling. We'd never done that before, so we tried to follow the instructions, but essentially you cut a hole into the tongue and groove, and then you carry that on through the metal, but we did that from above. But first you install the box through that hole, and that was a little challenging, but we managed. Not pretty, but it's coming along. See, it really doesn't look so bad after all. We got that in place and the wood stove brought in and almost completely hooked up, but we did need to get another pipe. From the roof, we needed to cut through it in to meet where the chimney box was that we just installed, and then put on our flashing, and lastly put on our chimney pipe. After we got all of that done at about 8 p.m. at night, we moved on to installing a few more windows the next day. The one in the loft and the one on the opposite side of that above the living room floor. So it's coming along. More light is great. Okay, so we fixed the bottom window. We leveled the cabin a little bit more. We put in the top window. We brought out the wood stove, started the flooring that'll go under the wood. We do need to finish it. There's some things we've got to work out. I don't know if we did the window in the loft. Kitchen. Wood stove, living room. Our bedroom. Dining room. Door. It looks so much better with a window now above the door. Maybe not with a ladder, but it's looking good. So we got the chimney pipe up. We will be adding an extension to it, but it's at least in. We got the other upper window in, and we fixed the bottom a little bit more. It's looking good. So a wrap up of the weekend was getting the wood stove out there, the chimney pipe in place, and some more windows in. But that snow is coming, and I'm not sure we're ready. It turns out we weren't. We tried to make it out to the cabin, but there was too much snow, but not quite enough for a snow machine, so we're staying home for a weekend and reevaluating how we are going to get out there now that it's officially winter with our dogs. So we have them loaded into this crate together and on a sled that we are going to test out pulling behind our snow machine to see how that works. And we're going to give that a go and see if we can make it out there again. Our dogs are great at adapting, so we gave it a try in our neighborhood, and they seem pretty happy with it. So we're going to test it out when we head out to the cabin again next weekend, and we should have a lot more snowfall by then because it was starting to really come down hard the last time we were out there. On our way back out to the cabin, we had a wonderful Alaska traffic jam.
It just keep coming.
Hopefully nobody comes up on us quickly. Oh, look at the baby. Oh. The caribou just kept coming and coming. This was such a cool encounter that we had on our way out to the cabin to try to experiment getting out there for the first time with snow machines and our dogs in our sled behind us while we hauled out some additional materials so we could finish on the chimney. So it's like 7 degrees outside. We just finished installing the chimney and we got the wood stove pipes inside connected. It's definitely winter. Sorry for the way I sound in the moment. I was suffering from bronchitis, so that was also a treat. First fire in the cabin. Let's see what happens. I don't see any smoke yet. Would you look at that? We did it right. Hell yeah. We've got warmth. That is so exciting because it was definitely below 0 last night. And I don't know if you can tell by the way I sound, but I have bronchitis. So this has been an interesting journey so far. So we organized a little bit. Can finally see some of the floor space. Still have our temporary bedroom. We did get the wood stove hooked up. We filled in gaps. So the loft right now is starting to be storage for stuff that we're bringing for later. It's pretty big. And down here, we are dining room and our kitchen. And we've got our wood stove. And behind me, we have our bedroom / living room. Now that it's officially winter, before we leave the cabin every time, we are working on hauling wood over to our various wood piles that we tried to start accumulating before winter initially came. We still have a lot of work ahead of us though. That was a wrap. Getting the wood stove in and heat was the most important thing we could have done once the roof was on, and we got it done.
Thanks for joining us.
Give us a like and subscribe and follow for our next adventures on Wild and Free
Interior Alaska.